What's going on, guys? And today we are here to review the final qualifying session of the year in terms of F1, which is the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix qualifying, which was alright to be fair. But no, this is completely irrelevant to qualifying. This is just FP3 news. Valtteri Bottas went off, and it really was some squeaky bum down there between him and the wall. And I can imagine if he crashed, then he would have a comeback to do. Let's just say he'd be mimicking Hamilton from Brazil, Sao Paulo, when he crashed in quali, obviously. Anyway, let's just move on to what happened in Q1. So Q1, not much really happened, although it was an abysmal session for Toro Rosso. I expected him to do a wee bit better, but no, it just wasn't the case. I mean, you already had Hartley going into this race, continuing on with his grid penalty record, because, I mean, come on, like, the racing gods just clearly hate him. I mean, 4 race entries, 4 grid penalties. He's literally had a grid penalty every single race of his career. Oh. Anyway, wait, what is this? No, get this out of the way. Anyway, so, anyway, now moving on. But they were slower than Sauber for most of the session. They were slower than Sauber, who, bear in mind, this year had the Ferrari engine from the previous year. They have a 2016 Ferrari engine in a 2017 car, and Toro Rosso are getting beat by them. So something's seriously wrong. Anyway, moving on. So I believe it was Hamilton who set the fastest time in it was Hamilton who set the fastest time in Q1. There's quite a difference between Ricciardo and Verstappen really the whole weekend. Ricciardo was undoubtedly comfortably quicker than Verstappen, but we'll get more on that later in the video. And Felipe Massa, going into this race, he knew that it was going to be his final qualifying session, and he knew he needed to do well for all his fans, and he did that. He got into Q2, and Lance Stroll, oh my God, Lance Stroll just barely got into Q2. He barely dragged himself out of that drop zone to push Grosjean down, and literally just, it was chaos. And so yeah, but yeah, I just need to cast my mind to, like, the Kiwi is just having such bad luck. If you don't know who the Kiwi is, it's who Ben Edwards calls Brendan Hartley. If you watch it on Channel 4 like I do, he calls him the Kiwi, and I think Steve Jones does as well. But anyway, back to the qualifying session. Pascal Wehrlein, who is unsure of a seat, managed to out-qualify Ericsson, who is somehow going to have a drive because he's bringing the team loads of money. I mean, that's pretty much just cheating your way into a Formula 1 seat, if I'm honest. In all honesty, that's just cheating your way into a Formula 1 seat. And I have rambled on so much in Q1. I didn't need to spend 4 minutes in Q1. But because of Stroll, the drivers who were knocked out in Q1 were Romain Grosjean in 16th, Pierre Gasly in 17th, 18th Pascal Wehrlein, 19th Marcus Ericsson, and 20th, bringing up the rear grid, is obviously Brendan Hartley. Next we move on to Q2, and once again it was like Hamilton domination. Ricciardo again outpacing Verstappen quite a lot, and the McLaren's actually done really well, a lot better than I thought, because it's a power circuit. Given that long back straight, I expected McLaren to be down in like 15th and 16th, but no, they managed to. Alonso just barely got knocked out in Q2, and Lance Stroll, I mean, he was just distant, but he's in Williams, so I'm not going on about him. Stoffel Van Dorn, he managed to qualify 13th, I think it was in the end. Yeah, it was 13th, and Alonso was 11th. But we need to talk about Lance Stroll. He was the slowest in Q2. And when you look at this, let's listen to this. So, Lance Stroll, he was the slowest in Q2. And his teammate Felipe Massa, who refers to himself as the old man, goes up and makes it into Q3. I mean, I don't really know why. I said it like this. I mean, he is old, but I mean, he is old for an F1 driver, but not as an actual person, so that's why I did that. But anyway, he got into Q3. Massa got into Q3. Magnussen, he had a pretty dull session. He out-qualified Grosjean, but Grosjean won the qualifying battle. And then we had a rather controversial moment at the end of the session. It was when Sergio Perez impeded Carlos Sainz. Sergio Perez, I don't know why he didn't just head to the pits, because Sainz was on a quick lap, Perez was on a slow lap, and Perez just pretty much ruined Sainz's lap, to be fair. And Sainz was absolutely fuming about that, because he could have potentially got into Q3 along with Nico Hulkenberg, but that wasn't to be because of a certain Checo. So Carlos Sainz, he was out in Q2. So grid positions 11 to 12 will be taken up by these 5 drivers. So in 11th place, Fernando Alonso, 12th Carlos Sainz, 13th Stoffel Van Dorn, 14th Kevin Magnussen, and then there was Lance Stroll in 15th. Then we got into Q3, the final pole shootout of the year. We were all expecting either Hamilton or Vettel to just run away with pole. Well, more likely Hamilton, because, I mean, it's a Mercedes circuit when you think about that. And we were thinking Bottas would maybe just like be second or third. Or maybe that Daniel Ricciardo would come in the mix if, given his pace before. But it wasn't to be. Bottas put in a quick lap. Although I think after the session, everyone was in holiday mode, considering it's only 2 days away now. Because they literally put Bottas's out lap on instead of his pole lap. Congratulations, you just made yourself look like a complete freaking idiot. It's like, what the hell are you doing? Like, genuinely, I do not know what they were doing. But let's move on. So, Massa, he had a dull session in his final Q3, which is sad. But hey, he managed to qualify P10 in the end. I think that's the second time in a row that he got into Q3, and obviously the last time, because he's not going to be on the grid next year, which is sad. Which obviously opens the door for potentially Paul di Resta or Robert Kubica. Those are the only 2 guys they can have. Williams can only have 1 driver under the age of 25 because of the Martini deal, and the only 2 options they could go for are Paul di Resta and Robert Kubica, and obviously Rosberg has been helping Kubica for coming back this week, because if they can't go Kvyat, I don't even know why he's in talks with Williams, because he's crap. He's only 24. Sergei Sorokin, he'll only be 23. Well, Daniel Kvyat will only be 24 next year. And they can't go with Palmer because, hang on, sorry, you just think that it can't be Palmer because he's been absolutely crap this year, and it can't be Ericsson either because, well, most likely he'll be with Sauber given the amount of money he brings to the goddamn team. Anyway, so yeah, that's why it needs to be one of those two. But Massa, he qualified 10th in his final race in Formula 1. Force India weren't as good as I thought. I thought they'd be like 6th, 7th. Only 8th and 9th. And if Perez gets a penalty for impeding Sainz, Perez will go down to 13th. Which won't be good. Next, we're moving on to Nico Hulkenberg, who had a pretty decent session. He qualified P7, and once again, he's just dragged the Renault maybe higher than it should be. But anyway, let's move on. Red Bull again. Ricciardo outpacing Verstappen at the late point. Ferrari, Mercedes will go on to them in a bit, and Mercedes will go into we'll go into Ferrari first. They had a pretty quiet session. It looked like they were just gonna lock out the second row until Ricciardo came in, which I'll get more on that in later. But Ricciardo, how did he find that pace? I seriously don't know. But Ferrari still looking for a front row in Abu Dhabi. They have never been on the front row in Abu Dhabi, let alone be on pole. Just sums it up, really. Bottas, he put in a quick lap early in the session. Hamilton also put in a quick lap, but wasn't enough to match Bottas. Then they both ended up making mistakes on their final flying laps, meaning that Hamilton couldn't improve, Bottas couldn't improve, meaning that, and because Hamilton couldn't improve, it meant that he couldn't take a 73rd career pole position. Meaning that the final results in qualifying are this. So it's Valtteri Bottas who takes back-to-back pole positions, first time in his career, 4th pole of his career. Then it's Lewis Hamilton in 2nd place. Mercedes get a 50th front row lockout. Then you have Sebastian Vettel qualifying in 3rd, and Daniel Ricciardo is in 4th. Kimi Räikkönen is in 5th. Then 6th place Max Verstappen. I don't know where all that pace went. I seriously don't. Anyway, back on topic. 7th was Nico Hulkenberg, as I've already mentioned. 8th, Sergio Perez, who could be demoted to 13th. 9th was Esteban Ocon, who could potentially become 8th. And then 10th was Massa, and you get the drill, alright? He could be promoted one place if the FIA take action with the Perez impeding Sainz thing. So Massa qualified 10th in his final ever Formula 1 race, and it's Fernando Alonso in 11th, Carlos Sainz in 12th, Stoffel van Dorn 13th, then 14th was Magnussen, as I said, then 15th Van Stroll, then Grosjean 16th, 17th is Gasly, Verline 18th, 19th Ericsson, and then Hartley's bringing up the rear. Hang on, let me just see if they are actually going to do anything about that. If they are actually going to do anything about the Perez and Sainz situation. Couldn't speak there. So on Wikipedia, are they actually? So if we go to contents, oh, they don't actually have the classification up yet. Well, that sucks. All they have is that Valtteri Bottas is on pole. I mean, why? Anyway, that does it for this video. Hopefully I'll be back with a race review tomorrow, and I'll see you next time.